Right, we're going to go off at a tangent slightly now, because we
need some common sense advice.
We do, yes. And this week's common sense advice might be relevant to some of you, might not be relevant to many, but I'm hoping you will enjoy it just the same, because it's interesting this evening. Of course, the whole reason behind this show, and the reason we're looking back at memories and nostalgia and that sort of thing, is because, as I mentioned earlier, it's my parents' 27th wedding anniversary. I'm cutting 2 years off. That's a fail jingle right there. So in their honour, I am going to now present some common sense advice to you, which may be useful to those of you in happy, loving relationships, or not, as the case may be. Let's give this a whirl. So, it's time for some common sense advice. Imagine that you have bagged yourself a man or a lady who you're madly in love with, and you are seriously thinking about popping the question. Now hold your horses there. You can't just rush into these things. There's a few things you need to know before you ask the love of your life to enter into a legally binding partnership with you. Don't not worry though. Like the best man ever, Teatime with Matt's got you back with common sense advice on how to propose to your partner.
Oh.
And to do that,
here we go.
And to do that, we're going to need a common sense advice sound bed.
I love this sound bed.
It is a good sound bed. Step 1. Are you sure? But Matt, you sickeningly talented multi-award winning genius, I hear you cry. What kind of question is that? Of course I'm sure. Are you though? Consider this. You're committing to spending at least a large chunk of your life with this person. Do you know what they're like to live with? Can you put up with all their irritating habits? More importantly, can they put up with yours? Like, for instance, a massive Dalek collection. Hopefully yours will be a long and happy marriage, but with 42% of marriages ending in divorce, it pays to give it some thought. If you're not sure, don't do it. You can ignore the rest of this bit. If you are sure, please listen to the remaining advice. Okay, those guys are gone, let's move on. Step 2, get a ring. Thanks to the Luxembourg-based diamond retailer De Beers running an aggressive advertising campaign back in the 1940s with the slogan, "A diamond is forever," you have to buy an engagement ring. While not always necessary for the actual proposal, you will have to think about it at some point, because society dictates you need to buy your loved one an expensive piece of tat in order to prove that you actually do love them and want to spend your life with them. Sure, you could get a ring out of a cracker and use that for a bit, but once the initial rush of oxytocin wears off... I can't speak. Once the initial rush of oxytocin wears off, there we go, your partner will inevitably think that you're a bit of a cheapskate, unless you fork out and get them a proper one. Just remember that diamonds are intrinsically worthless, and have no resale value whatsoever. They're the biggest con of the 20th century. But you don't have a choice in the matter, so try not to think about it. If you're not sure where to buy a ring from, I can highly recommend Honest Jeff's Totally Legit Jewelers Limited, located round the back of Argos for discount engagement rings. Open 11 PM to 3 AM, or whenever Trading Standards shows up. Why is my phone doing stuff about the Open University? Be quiet. Step 3, should you ask their parents? Nowadays, most people think that this is an outdated tradition. However, some partners will insist on it. And while some won't really care, their parents will make your life a misery if you don't ask them first. Although, to be fair, most in-laws will make your life a misery anyway. Either way, it's well worth sounding out the opinion of the parents, purely so you can have a quiet life. Step 4, pick a location. Location is everything. Some people can make a proposal magical at home in the living room by throwing down some rose petals and having a glass of Prosecco ready on the table. If you feel like being a bit more creative, maybe try a restaurant you both love, or the place you went on your first date. If you're super adventurous, take them on a hot air balloon ride, do a tandem skydive, or take them swimming with sharks. Do be prepared for the fact they might say no if you make them do any of these things. Incidentally, step number 5. Be prepared for an answer you don't want. Hopefully your partner will be overjoyed by whatever cheesy proposal you go for and everything will be lovely. However, humans are complicated creatures. Even if you feel like it's the perfect moment to pop the question, your partner may not agree. Your partner may be entirely thrown by your proposal. Even if they completely love you, they may not want to get married ever. Or they may feel like the timing is wrong. Or maybe there's underlying problems with your relationship which will build up inside you both until one or both of you explodes with rage and the relationship comes to a very messy end. Whatever the reason, your partner may not say yes, leaving you down on one knee, on a rock, by a river in Cumbria, wishing the ground would swallow you up, and wondering why on earth they told your mother what engagement ring they wanted and started browsing wedding dresses with them on a shopping trip a few weeks earlier. What? No, of course this didn't happen to me. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll totally go back to Cumbria again, because nothing traumatizing happened to me there. Definitely not a rejection to a wedding proposal in a place that was special to my family. Shut up! I'm not crying!
Okay.
You're crying! And that was Tea Time with Matt's common sense advice on how to propose to your partner. I don't have issues.
Oh my!
Are you gonna need a minute?
Are you okay, buddy?
I'm fine! Absolutely cool! I don't need a minute. Excuse me. Okay, I'm good.
You're listening to Tea Time with Matt at livestream.com/Tea Time with Matt.
Good
Yeah.
save. I like it.